Hi everyone, I'm Mrs Inglis and welcome to the Artful Crew. Today we're going to have a look at a really interesting artist called Henri Rousseau, and he created some really amazing jungle paintings, and we're going to be inspired by him today to create our own collage just like this one. And this is based on his painting called Surprised. So watch the video, grab your materials and let's get creating. To create our jungle collage, we're going to need some brown card for the background. We need some white paper or card to create some of our collage pieces. We're going to be painting on them, so you don't want to have them too thin. Some green paper or card, some different colours or shades of green are great, and same with some tissue paper. We will need some things to be colouring in with or painting with, so coloured pencils, paint and crayon. You might need a grey lead pencil and a black marker and some scissors and some glue. Today we're going to have a look at Henri Rousseau. Now, Henri Rousseau was a French artist who only started painting when he was in his 40s. He had no formal art training and he was mocked by his peers and the art critics of the time. But he kept on painting and submitting work to galleries anyway. And it wasn't until the end of his life that he actually started to get recognition. Now, let's have a look at the type of artwork that Henri Rousseau created. He's most famous for his jungle scenes. Lots of animals and foliage and trees. Now, Henri Rousseau is known to paint in a naive or primitive style of painting, which means that it's almost childlike in a way, and that's what the critics of the time said, oh, this was created by a child. Henri mentioned that he was inspired by his travels to the Mexican jungle. Now, it wasn't until after he died that we found out that he had never actually travelled over to Mexico. Where did he get his inspiration from? From books showing images of jungles, from the botanical gardens in France, taxidermy animals, and probably from houseplants as well, and his own imagination. As mentioned earlier, we're going to be inspired by his work called Surprise, which has a hidden tiger in amongst all the trees in the jungle. Now, to start off our collage, we're going to start by drawing our tiger. Now, on your white piece of paper, on the bottom third, I'm going to draw the tiger. Now, you can follow along with this step by step, and you can pause at any time if you need to slow down as well. To draw the rough shape of your tiger in pencil, then you can get out your marker, preferably waterproof if you're using watercolors, and you can then put in all of your tiger stripes and details. I like patterns and little details like that, so I've added lots of little dashes and dots just to make my tiger a little bit more interesting. You've finished drawing it with your marker, cut it out so it's easier to paint, and then use the other part as well. I'm using an orangey brown and adding some really bright yellow eyes, just like Henri Rousseau. Now it's time to create some of our collage pieces. I'm using oil pastels here. You could use crayons, and I'm just using different foliage shapes, leaf shapes, some almond shapes, some pointy long leaves. Have a look in your garden or houseplants if you have them. Go for a walk and have a think of different types of shapes. I'm using then some watercolor paint to paint over them. Half of it I've done with leaf shapes, and then on the other half of my paper I am just going to be doing watercolor splodges. You can see dots that I'm making, just having a little bit of play, some little lines, and watching all the different greens and blues blend into each other. You notice in a jungle, they're not just one green. Once you've finished creating your collage leaves and jungle scenery pieces, set it aside if you've done painting to dry. If you want to, you can always come back another day and complete the next steps that I'm going to show you. Step 4 in our collage making is to cut out our pieces. Now we've also got some green card and tissue paper, so I'm just cutting out here some leaf shapes. You can see I've cut out a little vine, but then I can cut around what I've cut out to create another shape of negative and positive space as well to use. Cutting out lots of little strips, leaves. You can use just organic shapes and blobs as well. It doesn't have to be leaf shaped as well. Now, if you didn't wait completely for it to dry, you can dab it with a tissue just like I have done. Now we can cut out our leaves that we had drawn, and on the remainder of the paper we can cut out leaves shapes as well, or different organic shapes as well. I've cut out strips that are like vines as well. The last step in our collage making is to paste down our pieces. Now we're going to do it in layers, so we're creating the background first. I'm starting off by pasting down some of the tissue paper in different spots. Now when you're pasting them, try and think of creating a balanced artwork. So making sure that the different spaces are covered with almost like an equal amount of the different colors and shapes. I'm just using a bit of everything that we've used, so a bit of tissue paper, a bit of just the plain green, a bit of the drawn leaves, and a bit of the watercolor paper, just stuck over in a balanced manner. Here I'm about to check out and see how my tiger fits in. I could see that it needed some more greenery behind the tiger, so I've done that. Once you think your background is looking balanced, it's time to stick down your tiger. I'm placing it just in the same spot as Henri Rousseau did with his tiger in Surprised. And now it's then time to continue our top layer of collage pieces, overlapping some of our background. So I'm having some other pieces cover and hide my tiger so that it's almost like it's preying on a helpless animal in the jungle. Don't forget to make sure that you're trying to create a balanced artwork and collage, making sure that you've got a variety of different types of collage pieces in different spots. I hope you enjoyed creating your jungle collage inspired by Henri Rousseau. I can't wait to see what you're created, so don't forget to share. I'd love to see your tiger or any other jungle animal that you might have added into your collage. I hope you had fun experimenting with creating your collage pieces as well. See you next time.